welcome back to Void Heart Studios. And before we get into the video, a lot of you are probably going to ask about this wrap on my hand. Don't worry about it too terribly much. I just had a little bit of an oopsie with an X-Acto knife, and I injured my hand, so, yeah. Doctor's orders is no super heavy springers for me for the next week or so. But I've got plenty of flywheelers to keep myself entertained, including today's review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Worker Hurricane, this adorable little red number. This blaster is a flywheel-operated semi-automatic pistol with a 6-round cylinder designed by Worker. And this is one of their older blasters and is on its way to being discontinued. This version, which is the limited edition red variation, is the only one that's currently available on Out of Darts. And, yeah. Let's get on with the overview. Starting off with what you get in the box. The Worker Hurricane comes with the blaster, one of these cylinders, no darts, and the limited edition version comes with this cute little Velcro patch. I don't know where I'm going to put this, but I'll find a place for it. Maybe I'll mount Velcro to one of my blasters. Maybe I'll mount Velcro to my Harrier and put it on there, because it is the Worker blaster I use the most, and I wouldn't want to ding this beautiful, beautiful translucent red frame with glue and Velcro. Yeah, anyways, back to the blaster. And another special thing on the side that relates to this version of the blaster, let me throw in another cylinder so it will show up better. Of course, you have the Worker logo, and then the serial number, number 755, was a special thing that they did for their limited edition ones. And as far as I recall correctly, Lord Draconical got I believe number 0 or number 1. So yeah, I have number 755. And of course, this signature here, I believe, is from an executive at Worker. I cannot quite remember, but yeah. Let us get back to the review. Starting up at the front, you have the muzzle. There is no end strike barrel lug. There is no dart zone friction muzzle. This was around before the latter even existed. And there is no orange tip. Now, I like to keep things lighthearted on the channel, and say whatever you will, but this blaster, due to its rather compact and efficient silhouette, though I will say it being so chunky helps, but there is a chance that it might get mistaken for something it's not. If you have the clear version or the red version, it's probably less likely of an issue as, well, a real steel firearm can be a lot of things. Translucent is not one of them. Sorry, my nose is itchy everywhere. But from a distance, this could get mistaken for something it isn't. Maybe a little bit of orange on the very front piece, or I wonder how hard it would be to open this up and just like add a muzzle or something. Like add a muzzle that sticks out and is orange. But I would be a little more inclined to buy the translucent versions if I were you, because, you know, they're less likely to get mistaken for something they're not, and of course them having the orange trigger also helps. Though, looking at it from a distance, something this chunky might be more likely to get mistaken for a taser than a firearm, but a weapon is a weapon. And that's, yeah. Safety PSA number 1 over. Of course, moving back from that, you have, of course, the flywheels you can see in there. That's pretty dope. And up at the top is the cylinder. This blaster holds 6 rounds in this spring-loaded cylinder, and I will show you how to load that in a little bit, because it is an interesting process. Of course, down here you have the trigger, and this blaster has a 2-stage trigger. When you pull back on the trigger slightly, the blaster revs, and when you complete the trigger pull, you fire a dart. And then you do that about 5 more times. Then your blaster runs dry. And then to remove the cylinder, you take it out by grabbing it right here and then pulling back, and pulling up and back, just kind of twist on it, and then you can take it out. And then to put a new cylinder in, you insert at an angle and then rock it forward. That allows you to do it. And then, of course, the loading knob is here on the outside in case you get a jam or a dart where the foam interferes with the rotation mechanism. Back in the back here is an on-off switch. When you turn it to the off position, then the blaster will not rev. If you turn it to the on position, then your blaster will rev. And speaking of rev, of course this is a motorized blaster. That means it takes batteries. And what other battery than an old hobby pseudo-standard, the humble IMR. These are Kuluk 14500. They're IMRs. Here's safety PSA number 2. IMRs are very special batteries. They're not, if I recall correctly, they're not overly dangerous. Like, they're not going to go off like a frag grenade if you so much as pull the trigger wrong. But they are, they do have a higher chance to become unstable than regular alkalines or lithium-ion rechargeables. These are rechargeable lithium-ion polymer 14500 IMR cells. They are sized and shaped like AA's, but they have a little more than twice the voltage. Regular AA's are 1.5 volts. These are 3.7, putting this blaster up to 7.4 volts, or that of a 2S LiPo. And they also have about the discharge rate of a LiPo, and that's why it revs up almost instantly. You are also going to want this cute little charger to charge up your batteries, and the best way to do it is to put them on the charger and try to monitor them. And you want to take them out of the charger when they get full. When you put the batteries on the charger, the light will show red, and when the battery is full, here, let me show you. When you put them on the charger, these little lights will turn on, and when they are not full and they are charging, they will show red, and when they become full, they will show green. And then at that point, you take them off the charger. Just with any, powerful rechargeable batteries, be careful. Don't stick them in something they're not supposed to go into, because, well, then everyone's going to have a bad time. And we don't want that happening. But this blaster just takes a pair of IMRs, which is not expensive. And that's the reason why these blasters used to be used a lot in place of just rewiring for a LiPo, because they are cheap. They're about $6 a pair for a rechargeable battery, whereas a 2S LiPo usually costs about $10. But anyways, funky fancy batteries aside, let's talk about loading this cylinder, because this cylinder is interesting because she be spring loaded. And that's how this blaster is so quick to fire. The entire rotation mechanism is self-contained within the cylinder because the cylinder rotation is spring loaded. But there is a little plastic tab in here, you'll see it better like looking at it like this, that actually blocks the darts from rotating any farther. So you push the dart in from the front, and then you rotate it one position, and then you push another dart in the front, you rotate once more, and then you keep repeating the process until you have loaded 6 darts. And then, once again, you just take the cylinder, take it and insert it like so, and you are able to fire them off pretty damn quick. So yeah, that is all the overview information I have to say for the Worker Hurricane. Let's go take it out on the range and have some fun. Well, it's an actually cool day out on the range today, which is nice to see. And today, I'm going to be shooting the Worker Hurricane, and because this is a 6-round cylinder, and I bought like 4 extra cylinders for it, I figured I might as well throw some more darts through it than I normally do. And I will today feed my fascination with putting ridiculously old ammo through modern era blasters, and I've got some old Nerf N-Strike streamlines that I'm going to be firing first through the clear red thing. Let's see how we do. Got no sight picture whatsoever. Okay, they don't use old micro darts in the Hurricane. They interfere with the rotation mechanism. Well, barn cat attack. That barely even fired. I hit one! Oh! Throw these on the ground. I finally hit one. The last shot went in one of the pockets. And of course, in that same vein, I'm going to use a dart that was popular at the time of the Hurricane's release. Well, not popular, more like infamous, but the humble Nerf Elite dart. I hit one of those too. Only one. Alright. Now, let's throw some good darts through it with some Dart Zone Nitro Shot full lengths. out. Let's go to some Dart Zone waffle nose darts. Alright, I'm out. Ah. Alright, and finally, I'm going to do a cylinder dump of the darts I used for testing this blaster. X-Shot air pocket darts. Oi! I love cats. They piss me off when they get on my range during a firing demo. Anyways, let's just go inside and we shall talk about this lovely creature. Alright, we are back inside with the Hurricane. Let's discuss. Firstly, I put this blaster up over my chronograph and I achieved an average velocity of 69 giggity feet per second. I finally get to say that. It's fun. Very, very fun blaster. It does hit about stock elite FPS, which, funny enough, when this blaster released, that's all you needed a sidearm to do. You know, there wasn't this crazy need back in like 2015, 2016 when this blaster released for a sidearm to hit like, you know, 150 FPS. Of course, nowadays we've got blasters like, you know, the Zinc and the Foxbat and the Phill C that hit 150 FPS, and these things become not obsolete, but definitely harder to be considered effective. And kind of what I want to talk about is effectivity isn't entirely objective. Of course, higher FPS stuff is going to be more powerful. It's going to hit harder, it's going to shoot farther, but in all reality, a tag's a tag. Hell, in some games, you get a tag just by throwing a dart at somebody. Much less shooting them. And you know what? That was weird. But you know what? This blaster is just fun. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I picked this blaster up today out of the package. I charged up the batteries. I put them in. I put it, you know, I loaded up the cylinder. And I just went, I plinked for a solid 30 minutes to an hour with this thing. Just, I didn't even tap into the 4 other cylinders I bought for it. I just kept reloading this cylinder because the loading is interesting enough. The firing is super fun. And the only thing that bugs me is I don't like the, you know, constant rev up and down sound of a semi-auto on a dual stage trigger. But you know what? I can get past that peeve to just have this really nice blaster. My only other small gripe about this blaster is there is no sight picture whatsoever. Like, this thing is completely flat down the top. Now, I could probably add sights to it, but... whatever. Because, I mean, the rear sight would likely have to rest on the cylinder, and I think they didn't want that for some bungled and bollocked reason. But hey, what do I know? In short, this blaster is cool. I really enjoy it. I really have fun with it. And it's inoffensive and inexpensive. This thing is on closeout sale for $28 right now on Out of Darts. They even have a starter kit for it that'll get you the IMRs and the extra and 4 extra cylinders and a bunch of worker full-length darts for like $61, as well as, you know, of course, the blaster. But I opted out of the darts in favor of the charger, because for whatever reason the charger isn't included in that starter pack. It's weird. But whatever. The blaster is really fun. I really, really enjoy this thing. A couple final notes. Another reminder, do watch which version you get. If you get one of the opaque ones, try to like paint the front orange or something. Especially if you live in America, where that's kind of a legal requirement. Secondly, these batteries, watch out for them. Make sure to treat them properly with the respect they deserve, because they can catch fire from severe enough misuse, and that can cause problems. And of course, make sure you do use either IMRs, or it is able to be out of the box rewired to take a 2S or 3S LiPo. And just you could do that if you have the knowledge and the skills to do so. I have opted for the IMRs just to show you what performance you're most likely going to be getting with this thing, as somebody who's new to the hobby, or just a casual nerfer who doesn't need to spend all that money and time on having to rewire all this junk for a LiPo. It's not as simple plug and play as like a Dart Zone blaster, where you can just take off the battery cover, take out the battery tray, and hooty heidi hody, now you can throw in a 3S LiPo because it's already got a XT30 connector. But yeah, this thing's very neat. Yeah, I would not recommend using regular AA's in it. I haven't tested this with regular AA's, but I do not I don't think it'll get the best performance, because you are going from 7.4 total volts down to 3 with a much lower discharge rate. And I don't know how likely I am to condone that. Just because, you know, undervolting your motors, you just don't want to do that. But yeah. Of course, this blaster is going to find itself a nice home on my wall, right under the slab. Look at how pretty it looks. But, anyways, I think it's about time to end the video, because I don't have much else to say. Of course, I'm going to leave a buy link in the description for the blaster, the cylinders, and the batteries. And that way you can pick one up if you do so desire to purchase one. I strongly recommend you do, because not only are they, you know, going out of style, they're also really fun. I don't know why they're going out of style. But anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like and subscribe. All the stupid algorithm jargon that YouTube forces you to do just to be able to see my stuff more often. Because I would love to see you guys down below more often. And speaking of down below, comment your favorite worker blaster down below. But instead of your favorite worker blaster overall, comment your favorite old worker blaster. The Prophecy, the Swordfish, the Dominator, the Terminator, the Hurricane, the the cheetah, the phoenix. Comment your favorite old worker blaster down below. And I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye!